Good day to everybody out there. This is See Thy Wealth, Water Your Health. Drink a glass of water. I'm coming to you from my comfortable king-size bed this rising. It's in the rising time, morning time. And I don't have to go to work today. Why don't I have to go to work today? Because I live off-grid in the jungle. Even if I lived off-grid in the city, I don't have any electrical bill. I don't have any mortgage payment. I don't have any water bill. And I grow my own food here. I don't grow all the food that I can to eat without going to the grocery store, but we're working on that. I'm a vegetarian, or quote unquote vegan. I'm a vegetarian in the historical sense, where I eat vegetation from the planet. Lettuce, tomato, cucumber, avocado, kale, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I don't have to go to work today. Now, you see in the news that AI is really taking over. We see that there's a lot of job layoffs from every sector, damn near. And the only way you can get around AI and your job being lost is not having to depend on one. How can you not depend on a job? By doing simply what I just said. And I know it may not be as simple as it sounds, but it really is once you focus and you have a clear-cut path to where you want to get to. If you alleviate your mortgage payment, that's more than half the battle right there, because most of your paycheck, for those of us that are working people, that's where our money goes to, either our lease or our mortgage. A lot of us have car notes. I don't have a car payment. I don't have a motorcycle payment. I've paid off everything, so I don't have to worry about those things. But most of your funds go to where you live. And then I would say your money goes to your car payment, your insurance, your groceries, and things of that nature. Well, most of those things that I just mentioned, I already have paid for. Now, the way you can alleviate AI taking your job is purchasing you some land, void of a mortgage, void of a conditional interest, and put you a tiny house on it, or put you a bigger house on it if you have the money. Get you some solar panels, some wind turbines, a water well, and grow your own food. AI, I don't feel like can come out here and do a farming job for me. And if they could, why would I want it to? Unless I'm trying to do it from a commercial standpoint and AI is going to help me increase my bottom line. And really, that's what AI is to me. AI is a more efficient, effective tool for Fortune 500 companies and smaller companies to increase their bottom line, to get rid of you, the worker, who may talk back, who may ask for a raise. They're getting rid of people like you and I so they could just have a robot or some technology fill that void, and they don't have to worry about increasing their pay. They don't have to worry about having a place for them to, stay or work. They could just hire or use some software or a physical robot to come in and fill the void for you. Well, guess what? No robot can come out here and fill the void for me. No robot can come out here and take a chainsaw and cut down these mango trees, or construct and orchestrate garden beds, or plant a papaya tree. No robot can do that. And if a robot does take a job in the sector that I am, with the properties that I still continue to operate, guess what? Then I have the opportunity to figure out what else I can do in the meantime to fill that void of income loss. And I'm not running around trying to force myself into someone's company because I'm missing out on money to pay a bill. AI is really just a tool for corporate people or people that are in capitalism to raise their bottom line and increase their profits. That's it. And we getting caught up in the crosshair of that because we were the ones that were actually filling these jobs in. We were the ones that were working at the checkout line in Walmart. We were the ones that were working at the restaurants, and we were the ones that were delivering food. Now you have cars that are driving themselves. You have robots on the sidewalks in Los Angeles, New York City, that are delivering food to people's houses. You have robots that are performing surgery. You have AI that is acting as therapists, giving you the perfect answer. Yeah, this is what's going on. But one thing that AI cannot do is replace the real human experience. Getting up out of bed every rising, making some tea. Yeah, you can get a robot to come and do that, but I don't want no robot in here doing that for me. Robots aren't planting my seeds outside. So you got to make a decision. Because right now is the beginning stages of these robots. And before you know it, they'll be on every block. Not just in the cities. They'll be in the suburbs. They'll be in the less populated areas. They will be everywhere. Everywhere there's some Wi-Fi and some connection, and even maybe without Wi-Fi and connection, the robots will be everywhere. And the question is, what are you going to do to continue to feed your family? Go to war with no artillery? What are you going to do? Rob? Eat other people? Because all you got to do is go and buy you some seeds. And it's not as simple as just buying seeds. You got to get soil. You got to have a place to store some of your flower pots. If you live in a small apartment in the city, yeah, it's not as simple. But guess what? They do have alternatives and different ways that you can do to grow food upwards on a wall. It's not pretty, but neither is starving. So you got a choice to make. If you can't afford to buy any land, which I feel like you can, you just may not be able to buy it in the particular location that you're in. You may have to go to the outskirts of whatever city or whatever county or whatever state you're in. You may have to go to the outskirts of what's popular. Because I'm not in the city. I'm not directly in the resort. I'm in my confines of my house in a jungle that is on the cusp of a resort, or on the outskirts of a resort, right? And I'm not even in the United States. I don't really care for that. I don't really care to be on the hamster wheel or in the matrix or in a society where population is abundant and it's just a whole bunch of different problems. There's problems here too. In fact, this was one of the most dangerous countries on the planet when it comes to violence. That's not a scare tactic for me, because I know that a lot of violence and a lot of murders usually take place between people that know each other, or someone that knows you that may be relaying information. And I'm not even giving off that kind of vibe. But regardless, the point that I'm trying to make is you may not be able to afford a piece of land in an area that may be attractive to you. You may have to go to the less desirable areas. But so what? So long as you could continue to keep feeding your family, so long as you could continue to keep providing a house, fresh water, food from the soil, solar from the sun. That's another thing you want to consider. Is it a location that's going to be warm year round, or that has a pretty good climate throughout the year that doesn't lead to freezing temperatures or snow? Because you want to be able to grow your food all year round. That's a constant. That's something that we need every day. And another thing that we need every day is the sunlight. It may be hidden behind the clouds for some days when it's raining or when it's just overcast, but the energy still seeps through enough to provide voltage to my panels every day, damn near. Unless it's just super cloudy and dark. Then you may not get any voltage. But on those days, you're using less energy because you don't need any air conditioner. You don't need any fans. Now, if you cook, that's another thing. Like I said, I'm a vegetarian. So I eat a lot of vegetation, which doesn't require cooking. If I am going to cook, it's usually for a maximum of 20 minutes. And that's to heat up my quinoa. But at the end of the day, I am providing let's back up. I'm in the process of providing all of the vegetation that I need right here from this soil. I'm in a tropical location. I love coconuts. I love salads. I love fruit. I can grow just about any fruit that you think of on this land. I can grow just about any vegetable that you could think of on this land. So the main thing we want to make sure we taking care of is our food source. That's number one. Well, I should say our water source. That should be number one. And then it should be the food source. And then it should be your shelter. Because if you got a shelter and you don't have a food source, then what the hell are we talking about here? But if you got your food source and your water source, then we could think about building our shelter afterwards, because we making sure that we have our food intact and our water intact. Now we can go ahead and build our shelter. Now, if you could do all at once like I was able to do, perfect. I took all of the money that I had and invested in this. So now I don't have any more money. All my money is tied up into this property here and to helping me grow, feed myself, have some fresh water, being in a place where there aren't many planes flying or hardly any planes flying above me. So I don't have to worry about those chemicals from the chemtrails. No chemical plants over here. I don't have to worry about all that toxic waste seeping into a local water source that I'm drinking from. When you start to think about your life and the necessities that are needed in life, it makes things a lot more simple. But the addiction of food, processed foods, people, the stimulation of the matrix, the stimulation of everything that's the population of people around you, entertainment, alcohol, which is here, but major entertainment in large venues and commercial, that is an addiction in and of itself, which people really don't want to get away from that. But I, on the other hand, spent time away from society, so I know that that's all BS anyway. Because when you voluntarily, involuntarily, I'll say that, because when you commit a crime and you go to jail for it, you voluntarily committed that crime, but you involuntarily went to jail because the judge felt like you did something that was, and they send you to jail. So I say, when you involuntarily get removed from society, that makes you look at things in a whole different light, perspective, everything. Christmas has come and gone. There's no Santa Claus. There's no lights. There's none of that shit unless you're going to the nurse or to the infirmary or something where you can see that the nurses have little decorations and ornaments. But besides that, Halloween comes and goes. You don't see any pumpkins. Thanksgiving comes and goes. You do get a special meal, but you don't see none of that shit, all that stuff that they got going on throughout the cities and everything. New Year's comes around, the ball will drop and you won't know nothing about it. So it forced me to look at all of these made up holidays differently. It's all about commerce. It's all about distraction. Now you're not focused on getting to the promised land. The rainbow at the end, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is what that is right here. As the rain come down really heavy. Just started. This is what this is. This is incredible right here. The rain has come out. Mother Nature is my God. The sun, that's my God. The sun gives me energy every day. The universe, God. The rain is coming down. It's watering the mango trees, which will bear fruit in the next 3 to 6 months. It's providing source and nutrients to my gutters to give me water in my cistern. I don't even have to tap into my well water right now. It's recurring and filling up the creek that borders the entire length of my property. It's giving my soil energy for my garden to grow lush. And even with those clouds out right now, I'm still can go out and show you that there's voltage going to my panels.
So we're not worried about AI. We're not worried about artificial intelligence. We're not worried about job layoffs. We're not worried about if the solar or the power company hits the power button and knocks every house off the grid and there's no power. And you got to go and get candles and all types of other things. We're not worried about in flashlights. We're not worried about if the municipal government hits a button and turns off the water company and threatens you to move in the direction they want you to move. And if you don't do that, we're going to keep the water off. It's already contaminated anyway. But we're going to turn it off because you're not doing what we want you to do. Listen to how powerful and how heavy that rain is coming down. That's water that's filling up my cisterns. That's water that's watering everything out here. Cleansing. This is incredible. Now, if you put a robot out there in that rain, how long can it withstand it? If you submerge a robot in water, how long can it withstand? But we're not even worried about that. I'm sorry, I'm just getting passionate. I'm sorry, not sorry, I'm getting passionate. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm not going to go in on about this. We know that AI is here to stay until they knock out the satellites, until we get, I don't even care if we wake up today. That shit is here to stay. And with that, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. If y'all could hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment as well. Let me know what y'all think. Hit that notification bell and hit all. This is See Thy Wealth, water your health. Drink a glass of water.